So D80, different yeast, RP15, different yeast. You could see I just poured it right on top after it set, rehydrating for about 10-15 minutes. Just did the D80, same thing. And I'm going to leave it just like this. I'm not going to mix it in until tomorrow. Cabernet Sauvignon, D80 as well. This is exactly how it's going to stay until tomorrow. And same thing, D80. Now, my stupid marker died on me, but I mislabeled this bin. So it's actually 26 bricks. That was a 3.8, which we took the pH down to 3.5. And we put D80 in there. So use the eraser board markers. They work out pretty good. Just kind of gives you the information. And the reason I want to know which ones are D80 and which ones are RP15 is when we blend them all back together. Not all of this is my wine and the guys that we make it with. There's a couple other guys in here, so we want to make sure that we're blending it proportionately so we can get the maximum flavor out of it. So anyhow, you'll be able to notice a total difference in taste as well. But this is how we're going to leave this for now. So didn't really talk about the juice buckets at all this year, and there's a reason for that. I'll kind of give you a brief tutorial on it. Basically what we do with the juice buckets is 3 days, 4 days. They get fired up right away. And so we're going to leave these 3-4 days in the buckets, let them do their heavy fermentation. Then probably tomorrow night, I'm going to wash a bunch of carboys and demijohns and pour those into the demijohns. We'll add a pinch of yeast nutrient at that point, some Fermade O, and let them fire off to dry. And this isn't bad wine. It actually makes quite a good wine, but it's not a premium wine in my opinion. It's a good table wine, but this is age-worthy. This is let's have a party. Get the red Solo cup out. So, all right. That's it for tonight, guys. Washing these, what we do, again, I just dip them in the sanitizer. Even though we're going to re-sanitize them the next time we use them, everything's going to get wiped down, cleaned up, and lids will all go back on, and we're just going to let the yeast do its thing for now. Tomorrow afternoon, evening, I'm going to come back and press off this white, and we're going to put the white juice. We're going to clean up a bunch of these demijohns that we have. I'm going to put the white juice in there to ferment primary. And then that'll be a whole nother procedure. But I'll videotape some of the pressing of the white tomorrow. And we're going to use a bladder press, not the ratchet press. So the ratchet press is great for a beginner. Once you get a little bit more advanced, you really want to make the investment in some high-end equipment, meaning a good crusher destemmer, quality crusher destemmer. This one is just a destemmer because, again, we're Zinfandel guys. We don't need to crush the Zin. It's a big berry, and I like the way this will give you a lot more fruit flavor, a lot less tannin because you're not crushing that grape. So next thing we invested in was a bladder press. Cost us about $2,000, but worth every penny. We put a pump on it, and I'll show you that tomorrow, to get every last drop of wine out of our skins. We started with this ratchet press, which again, for the beginner, this thing's great. We had a small one to begin with. It was about the size of that 5-gallon bucket. Then we upgraded to this 35 pounder. And it's fine. It'll do the job, especially with red wine. It works really well. But we were left, the must was left wet. And so we probably would lose, 2-3 liters of wine every time we pressed, put a basket full and pressed it out. So we invested in a bladder press. And if you're going to be doing this long term, invest in good, high-end, expensive equipment. And I found the cheap stuff just simply doesn't last. And these glass carboys, for the amount of money, if you're starting off small, making 30 gallons of wine a year, these are fine. Once you get into bigger quantities with friends or by yourself, whatever, invest in the stainless steel tank, invest in a bladder press, and our next investment is in a must pump. Must pumps range from $2,500 to $4,000, but the advantage is when this thing is crushing and the grapes are going into the bucket, you put the hose of the must pump in there and it pumps it right into your fermenter. So you don't have to pick it up anymore. And I mean, we're all in our mid to late 40s, so it's not that bad, but I could see in 10 years, nobody's going to want to pick up a 50 gallon or 50 pound bucket of must and pick it up and pour it into a fermenter. It just becomes it's too much work. So we're investing in our equipment now. We're purchasing good quality stainless steel equipment, must pumps, crusher destemmer, and bladder press. Those are primarily the three things that you're going to need to process your grapes, and then stainless steel tanks for long-term storage, and then bottling and a bottle corker. That's really all you need. So all in, you want to have a small production facility. It's going to cost you probably in the range of about $10,000 for equipment, but that equipment will last you a lifetime. And if you do it with a couple friends, every year you buy something new, it's not that bad. So, all right, guys, see you tomorrow.